So this is a very simple statement. If there is health, there is no disease. If you allow light to come in, then there is no darkness. And when there will be abundance, there will be no poverty. So these are opposites. When you have one, the other disappears. When there is health, there is no disease. When there is light, there is no darkness. When there is abundance, there is no poverty. So you bring in one, the other goes. So this is again a natural law, and you must learn this. Supposing you have a disease and you want to be in health, what do? You give yourself thoughts of health. You use words of health. You use sentences which give you power of achieving health. If you tell yourself, I am healthy, 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 multiple number of times, if you repeat like a mantra. So this, what you're saying consciously, goes into your subconscious mind, becomes a deeper and deeper impression there. Then it goes further. The subconscious mind is connected to the universal mind. So it travels deeper inside, goes to the universal mind. Universal mind, as we have seen in the earlier talk, and I'm sure you know by now, is the source of infiniteness, source of complete knowledge, complete power, all resources. So when this request, when this instruction, when this affirmation, when this mantra reaches the universal mind, I am healthy, I am healthy, I am healthy, it creates health out of its own powers. And then there is no disease. So you see, this is one simple way by which one can cooperate with the natural laws of our mind, of this existence, because our mind is where? In this existence. Our mind is part of existence. Our mind is part of this creation. We are not what we are seen from outside. We are a product of thousands and thousands and thousands of years of development, probably billions of years of development. We were there when the Big Bang occurred, but in a different form, different shape, different color. But I still have the ingredients. I still have the components. I still have the matter, the dust of that time in me. All of us have it. So the beginning of the creation is in me. It is not somewhere outside. I am connected to the source. The source is in me. I need to go inside and connect using methodology which we have been teaching you. Okay? Now, there are truths. This world is full of relative truths. There are many people, somebody would call fact A a truth, somebody would say, no, fact A is not true, fact B is true. So that thing has been going on this planet between various human beings of various races, religions, nations for God knows how many years. But there is one truth that entire humanity knows. If you go through wisdom literature of any race, any region, any nation, any religion, you will find that constructive thought contains energy and life. And it has the power to displace the non-constructive thoughts. So I'm sure sometimes or the other non-constructive thoughts do come, because that also is a law of nature. The good and the bad, they keep on coming. Now, what you are predominantly thinking, if you're thinking predominantly good, then you will find more of good coming in your life. If you're thinking predominantly non-constructive things, you will find more of non-constructive things coming in your life. Both will come, but the proportion will change depending on your conscious thinking, depending on what you are predominantly thinking, depending on your internal recordings of thoughts, depending on the words which are deeply stored inside you and which you are being commonly using in your day-to-day thought process. So just remember, a constructive thought has energy, gives life, and has the power to displace the non-constructive thought. Okay, very important principle of life. With this truth, you can destroy. Yes, note down. With this truth, you can destroy every discord, every lack, every limitation, everything which has been limiting you, binding you, trapping you, imprisoning you, or disempowering you can be destroyed just by thinking constructive thoughts. Constructive thoughts have energy, constructive thoughts have life, and they replace all unconstructive thoughts. So this is another natural law which you must cooperate with and use to improve your life and take it to the highest levels possible. And let me tell you, all these methods which I have been sharing with you does not cost you money. You don't have to go to a gym to practice. You don't have to go to a yoga studio to practice. You don't have to pay somebody anything. Simply, it is your thought process which you're working on. And these videos are available. They are available free of cost on YouTube. You can listen to them as many times as you want. If you want certain help, we are always available. Contact us, we will help you out. So with this creative power of thought, you can become a master of your destiny. Remember this. With this creative power of thought, you can become the master of your destiny. So this also can be treated like a law of nature. The creative power of thought changes your destiny. Your destiny is under your control. By the kind of thoughts you are entertaining, by the kind of thoughts you are sowing in your mind, by the kind of thoughts you are cultivating in your mind, by the kind of thoughts you are nurturing. I hope you are getting this. Simply by thought control, simply by mind control, we control our destiny. We can take it to the highest level. We can have the ultimate experiences of life. We can enjoy the most of knowledge, power, abundance, name, fame, health, whatever you can think of. There is a very important law. There is another natural law. It's called the law of compensation. So we have to understand this law and use it to achieve, to get, to receive what we want from this creation. So what it says is, if there is appearance of some energy at some point, then there would be a disappearance of a similar amount of energy somewhere else. I'm sure you must have read in physics that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. You can only shift it from one place to another, or you can only transform it from one form to another, but you cannot destroy it. So what he's saying in law of compensation is, if there is some energy which is appearing somewhere, then a similar amount of energy has disappeared from somewhere. And this is what is called law of compensation. What it indicates in very simple terms is, you can only get what you give. If you are not willing to give, you will not get. And if you are giving, you will get. And if you're giving more and more, you will get more and more. So you must always think of how to give benefit to the maximum number of people in the maximum possible way. That is the golden formula for abundance. So here, the same thing is coming from the law of compensation. Law of compensation, again, is a natural law. So we have to cooperate with this law. And how do we cooperate? We understand this law and we learn to give more and more and more and more to maximum and maximum number of people. So then we get compensated by the creation, by nature, by this existence on its own. Because when energy has shifted out from me to the others, then the corresponding number, the corresponding amount of energy will shift back into me and my life and my family and others around me. Yeah, hope you got it. It's very simple. Another very important point. And now we are very close to the end of this. We will be touching upon one of the most fundamental qualities of, I would say, extraordinary human beings. Okay? Extraordinary human beings, geniuses, or I would say super performers, they have insight. Leaders, business leaders, political leaders, all fronts, they have insight. So we will see a bit in detail in the next slide or so. What is insight? You must understand this insight and learn and practice to gain this insight. Insight can be learned by practice. So when you practice for insight, you will gain insight. And that insight will give you an advantage. Will give you an advantage over others who do not have an insight. So we'll see what advantage it gives you. But one broad basic principle which we need to follow and practice on a regular basis is that our thoughts must be germ-free. Now, you might ask, what do you mean by germ-free thoughts? Germ-free thoughts are those thoughts which don't have any kind of trouble creating components. There are no mental germs, moral germs, physical germs that will create disturbances, fluctuations in our life that will trouble others. So we don't want to attract that in our lives. So your thoughts must be neat, clean, pure, and constructive, okay, without germs. Now let's look at what is insight. As I've spoken to you about it, very, very important, the most important. Insight is a faculty of the mind. It is actually an inner faculty. Insight does not come naturally to people, okay? Ordinary people. Insight comes to people who have a high degree of concentration, whose minds are concentrated enough to go deep into any topic, into any scene, into any situation, into any problem. And they are able to understand what difficulties are there and what possibilities are there in that position, in that problem. So it is a faculty of the mind. And this faculty of the mind is available in those minds which have a high degree of concentration. So you can develop insight by practicing and developing concentration. So concentration can be developed by doing practices, mental practices of concentration. So the yogic method suggests to practice dharana, dhyan, samadhi, and samayama. I will not go into detail of these here because these are highly deep subjects for people who want to go extraordinarily deep into concentration. But for the common man, you can say that when you start practicing concentration, you are able to remove the trivia and go inside and see deep. See something which is beyond the in which that object is wrapped. Okay, so what is the cloud in which an object is wrapped? It is actually words again. When we look at any object, we don't see the object actually. What we see is the name of the object. What we see is the meaning of that name of the object. What we see is our idea in words of that object. So while we are looking at an object, we are looking with thoughts. And those are our thoughts. So we cover that object with a cloud of our own thoughts, our own words. And we don't see the object clearly. The clarity is lost because words surround that object And the words come from our mind because we look at that object in terms of its name, in terms of its meaning, in terms of our own idea of that object. Okay, so some of you might find it a bit difficult at this stage, but ponder over what I'm telling you. Think about it, right? Say if I show you this object, okay, most of you will say this is a pen, right? But pen is the name of the object. You saw the name. Your eye does not see the name. Eye sees the object. The mind sees the name from memory. So when you see with the name, when you see in words, when you see in thoughts, you miss out on the original object as it is. You miss out on what the eye is actually seeing. You are looking at an object based on what the mind is seeing. So insight comes when you remove the outer layers and go in. And the deeper inside you go, the higher knowledge you have, the higher insight you have, the more valuable it is, the more deeper inside you're able to go. It can give you a new breakthrough in your research. It can give you an idea of a new patent for your business. It can probably give you an insight into a new natural law. You might discover something new. It might help you to come up with a new invention, absolutely. So insight is very critical for humanity to progress. So we will see a bit more on insight before we close, okay? So number one, insight allows us to be prepared for obstacles that we will meet. So we can take care of them in advance. When you're able to see beyond the cloud, you see the trouble areas. So you can take care of them when they come. You can plan in advance. And you can use your thought and attention in the right direction. Once you are able to see beyond the cloud of words, you can use your thought, attention, and take it in the right direction. It is absolutely essential, as I was telling you, for the development of any great achievement, be it an invention, be it a discovery, be it a new law. It can take civilization to the next level. That is the power of insight. So what is insight? Insight, as the last line here says, is the product of the world within and is developed in silence by concentration. So you have to practice concentration in silence to be able to do it. If you want help in what kind of concentrations to do, what exercises to do, you may get in touch with us. We might put you on to one of our courses and you will be able to develop a very high degree of insight. Yeah, so now we come to the mental exercise part. I'm sure you like this chapter. I loved it. It was very interesting. And here he says that one important thing which you must learn and recognize, that knowledge by itself cannot apply itself. And knowledge, if not applied, will go waste. It will remain in your mind for some time and then get washed away. So for us, whenever we are acquiring knowledge, we must figure out a way, figure out a method, figure out a process by which we can apply this knowledge. And what happens when you start applying this knowledge? One simple technique I will share with you, and I would like you to do it as a mental exercise. Whatever new knowledge you have thought about, which has come to you, you sit in a comfortable position on a chair or anywhere where you are comfortable, the body is comfortable and relaxed. Put the mind also in a very relaxed manner. Close your eyes. And this new knowledge, which you want to apply, which you want to hold, which you want to use for some good purpose, for some productive use, for benefit of others, or even for yourself, hold your mind on those thoughts of knowledge. Think about it. Contemplate about it. In Hindi, there is a term, Chintan Manan. So think about it, contemplate about it, reflect about it, or meditate about it, and go with the flow. And wherever your mind is taking you, allow it to take you. Go with that knowledge. Dive inside that knowledge. Float in that knowledge. Swim in that knowledge. Immerse in that knowledge. The way you would immerse, say, a chalk in a glass of ink. So the chalk will totally suck up the ink. And if the ink is blue in color, the chalk will turn blue. So similarly, you must soak up that knowledge. How to soak up? By thinking, by contemplation, by meditation, by reflection over it. Do it for 15 minutes. Do it for 2 times a day. Do it for 7 days. And if possible, make it a regular practice. Whenever you are picking some new knowledge, do some reflection so that this process of reflection, meditation, concentrating over it will develop cells. There would be memorization of that knowledge. So that knowledge, which was a light impression, will become a deeper and deeper impression. In Sanskrit, in yogic terms, we would call it a sanskar. It will become a sanskar. And it will automatically have a life of its own. It will come out at the right time in front of the right people in the form of action in the physical world outside or in the mental world inside. So that is what is meant by applying knowledge, or else knowledge will simply flow away. So I hope you have understood this. Do this for 15 minutes, twice a day, for next 7 days. And I'm sure you would have developed a very powerful habit. So in today's session, we have seen natural laws and how by cooperating with them, we are able to achieve whatever we want in life. So that is what gives us happiness. We have seen the ultimate power of insight, and we have seen how to apply knowledge. So friends, thank you so much. I hope you have liked today's session. If you have any questions, yes, definitely feel free to get in touch with us. We are here to help you. Our organization has done deep study on the mind, on manifestation, on strategies, on critical thinking, on creative thinking, on intuition, insights. And these are the qualities which are needed in today's world. In this world of artificial intelligence, humanity more than ever needs this. And humanity more than ever needs to understand natural laws and to come in cooperation with it so that we can reach the higher levels of performance, higher levels of achievement, and higher levels of happiness in our life. Thank you, friends. See you next time, next session. God bless each one.